I think if you're a person who's never bet on you, never bet on yourself, this could be very uncomfortable. This could be very difficult. You start lying to yourself about opportunities and why you're not taking chances because you've never bet on yourself. You don't risk anything.
Yeah.
If there's nothing to risk, there's really nothing to gain or lose.
And you might as well decide now if you're that person or not. You know?
Yeah.
Why not decide and just say, hey, I guess I'm not the kind of person that does bet on myself. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully my retirement will be there. Hopefully. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast.
What happened to fam?
Hey fam. Hey fam. We were talking earlier about what the kids are saying now, and they say fam. They call each other fam, right? Like you would be, hey fam, and you're just one person, but you're fam.
I'm fam.
Yeah, you're fam.
Awesome.
That's what I hear. I don't know. It's probably gone now. It doesn't exist anymore, but I've heard my son say that a couple of times. But fam, today we have a special podcast for you. Crazy title. It's a crazy topic.
Well, we were hitting all these points, and we said, hey, this is like
this is the talk.
Opposite.
This is the talk. So today we are talking about why you shouldn't sell life insurance. Why you shouldn't sell life insurance. Now, before you click off or change to Tony Robbins, you need to know this stuff.
Tony Robbins.
I guess
How did it go from clicking off to Tony Robbins?
If you're listening to us, you listen to Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins is running ads on our channel now.
Yes, that's why.
He's the next up.
Yes, he's next.
He's the next up video.
Below us slightly. But so Roger, let's hit him with the stuff so they know why they shouldn't.
Well, some people shouldn't.
I would agree with you.
Some people should not.
And some people can't.
And the bobblehead guys are agreeing. Look at their heads just bobbling. Look, I can make them bobble on this new desk. What do you think of the new desk, by the way? We went from a wooden desk to a white desk.
It's nice
and
clean.
Think? Did anybody address it yet? See? Nobody's addressed it. No. We snuck it in there on you, and Adam's now messed up because I addressed it.
Clean,
but we want your thoughts. Do you like the white desk or do you like the wooden desk? Which one do you like best? Put it in the comments.
I do like it has plugs.
Yeah, we can. You should plug something in.
Yeah. So why you shouldn't sell life insurance? Hit it.
That's such a weird intro, man.
We're rolling with it. We don't.
What are some of the things? What are some of the reasons why they shouldn't sell insurance? Well, Chris, you and I were talking about the reasons and the differences between successful agents and people who fail out. And there's a pretty high percentage of people who fail out. And we say fail, but I don't even know if it's fail. Because a fail is I tried my best.
That's a good way of putting it.
And I did not hit the mark, and I failed.
Yes.
Like I sat for a test, sat in there for an hour, just like everyone else, answered all of the questions, and I got a 46.
And I tried.
And I tried, and I got a 46, and I failed. Put in the same time. Maybe I didn't study as much,
right?
But they took the test. There's a lot of people that get out of this business, and we don't even know if they're really trying. We don't even know if they're willing to sit for the test. And we say they failed out, but sometimes it's a withdrawal.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a quit.
Yes.
I quit the business. Some people say, well, I tried that. It wasn't for me. What they're really saying is I tried it. It was hard and I quit.
Yeah.
Yeah? I quit. Adam's got his hand up over there.
I have a story. I don't know if I should share it or not.
Adam
should
put
I
up
share
his
it?
hand too. Adam quit the business.
Yeah,
He got in. He found out, hey, this wasn't for me, at least the way that he was introduced to it.
Yeah.
He's like, this grind is not for me, and I'm uncomfortable with saying the things that they want me to say. I'm out.
I think Adam would kill it now, though.
Oh, he knows more than most.
Yeah, he's one of our best trained agents who's not licensed.
Yeah.
True.
You said you have a story.
We had a training event and had an agent quit at the event. And it was 3 hours into the event.
3 hours.
3 hours into the event. And I said, well, it's kind of early. And the agent said, well, I tried. And I said, well, you gave it 3 hours. It was 3 hours. It was 3 hours.
And the first hour was...
That's not even like a full Harry Potter movie. It's not... It's not the full movie, man. Like you need to give yourself
Oppenheimer. Definitely not.
No,
a
definitely
full
not.
Oppenheimer movie.
Definitely not. And I know that feeling though, so I don't want to be too hard on agents. I know that feeling of coming to the edge. I say you're coming to the edge of yourself, and you have to decide what you're going to do next.
That's right.
Are you going to keep moving forward, or do you take a step back?
I think one of the reasons why you shouldn't sell insurance is probably if you don't like being uncomfortable, you shouldn't sell insurance.
Yes. Yeah. There's plenty of opportunities to be uncomfortable.
Oh, you have to have them.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're not giving yourself the opportunity or the reps to be successful. So, have I had people slam a door in my face? Yes. Have I had people cuss me out? Yes. Have I had people hang up on me? Sure. Have I messed up? Have I messed up sales because I didn't know enough? Mm-hmm. Plenty of times.
Yeah.
But you have to give yourself the opportunity to feel that. I can't even describe what that feeling is of uncomfortableness.
Discomfort.
Yeah, the discomfort. Uncomfortableness is a word.
Is that a word? I don't know.
The discomfort of your heart beating, your hands sweaty, mom's spaghetti. Thank you, Eminem. But the palms sweaty, being nervous.
The nauseous feeling in your stomach.
Yeah, not wanting to wake up in the morning, or the person to answer the call, or
dreading going to bed because when you wake up you got to start again.
Yes, yeah. Like that's going to happen for most people. I don't know if there are people who don't experience those things. Are there?
I don't know. I think everybody, when they go through something new, experiences that. But if you're one of those people that don't like being uncomfortable ever, then you shouldn't do this because you're going to be uncomfortable.
You're going to have all those feelings.
Can I tell a story about you and me?
I'd rather.
And a golf game this past weekend?
No, guys, we're done.
I'm gonna. Can I tell it?
Of course you can.
So,
of course,
Chris and I are out on the weekend, and we're playing golf. And Chris is getting his swing back. Mm-hmm. You had a knee replacement.
Yes.
Let's just say it for what it is. You had a knee replacement. And
say it for what it is.
I've got to give context here.
Let's call a spade.
Because sometimes people just stop. This is their first podcast.
Yes.
So they don't know that you just had
That's
something
true.
major done. So he's come through a major surgery. Mm-hmm. He's on the other side of that, or at least we think so.
Yeah.
And he's getting his game back. And he was out. And by the time we got to the ninth hole, man, I could see exasperation setting in.
It was so frustrating.
It was setting in. Not just frustrating. I could see pure exasperation. Like you were standing over the ball, like on a sea of an abyss of doubt and uncertainty and not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
And I've been there. I know what it feels like.
You were very comforting.
And we make the turn. We go and get a drink. We make the turn. We go to the 10th hole. Chris is like, all right, we're playing for keeps. We're playing for keeps.
That's what I said.
We're playing for keeps. It all counts from here. We're starting right now. He gets up and hits his first ball. The ball straight out into the lake, out into the left. And he goes.
Way to the left.
He goes. I can't even say it. You're like,
no edits.
I think I'm just going to quit.
I'm going to sell.
Right after he said we're playing for keeps, he got up, smacked it straight into the water. He looks at me, and my daughter is with me.
Yeah.
He looks at us and said, I think I'm just going to quit. I'm just donating balls at this point. You went from exasperation
to trying to hype myself.
Reassurance to total defeat. And it all happened within about 6 minutes.
At least the lifespan of a popsicle.
And I said, Chris Ball, what did I say to you? What did I say?
You're no quitter.
I said, you're no quitter, Chris Ball.
You're no quitter.
You're no quitter.
Yeah.
Because if you were a life insurance agent right now, what would you tell yourself?
Dude,
what would you tell yourself? You said, you're right. You're right. And you finished out with us. You kept going, pushed through. And then when we sat down at the table today, guys, Chris says to me, here's the good news. I played a great round of golf yesterday. Something clicked.
Yeah.
And you were starting to find your rhythm. Now, I wasn't with you yesterday, so I can't speak to it.
I could be making that up.
You could be. But you sound like you found a new confidence.
Yeah.
But, man, you pushed through. But, man, that emotional roller coaster, like you were hyping yourself up. And literally 3 minutes later, you look like someone took your toys, peed on your parade, dumped over your food, kicked your pizza, knocked over your Coke, and said, go home.
Yeah.
right? And it was just like, what just happened?
That's funny.
And you went through this discomfort, and it just reminded me of the sales process.
Well, it's funny because I like the idea, and I believe in it, that you can decide something.
Yeah.
And so I had decided that it was time to turn it on.
For how long?
One swing.
That's like an agent picking up the phone and getting someone that yells at them, and they get one bad
And
client,
they decide
and
it.
then it's over. Or they're 3 hours into a training. There's their first hour on the phones after 2 hours of prep, and they're like, out. I'm done.
Yeah.
I've tried.
That's it.
So, man, if you don't like being uncomfortable, Chris,
Don't do it.
don't do this. And also, don't play golf.
But maybe you should. Maybe you should. But don't.
but-
Maybe you should, but don't.
But if you can sustain discomfort long enough to see it through, there might be a shot.
You know, speaking of the knee thing, I will say this about the comfort thing. Okay, you fight for extension and being able to bend your knee, right? And part of that, it's excruciating.
You're now talking about the surgery again in your knee.
Correct.
I'm doing a callback.
Yeah, the complete
for people who just joined us at this point. Yeah,
and your knee wants to stay stiff. It is excruciating. It is incredibly painful. Most painful thing I can think of that I've been through, and as you're doing it, the best thing you can do is bend it as far as you can and hold it as long as you can.
Put up with the pain for a few minutes.
Yeah, and then bend it some more and hold it as long as you can, and bend it some more and hold it. That's the only way to move forward in that type of scenario.
So
yeah, you got to be
in sales. You got to be willing to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, sit in it. You got to sit in it.
You got to sit in your stink.
Literally.
Some of you got a different analogy. Some of you got a different picture when I just said that. But
yes,
you got to go through it. What else, Chris?
I believe we talked about the ability to take criticism.
Yeah.
If you can't take criticism,
who's going to criticize you?
Hopefully you have a good team or coach that you're working with that can give you direction. You're definitely your clients will, and you
sometimes your family.
Yeah, sometimes your family.
The people who love you the most, man.
That hurts. Yeah.
Sometimes they're going to criticize you.
Why are you doing this?
It doesn't always come across as criticism. It comes across as caring doubt.
Wow.
I'm lovingly doubting your ability. What?
Are you sure?
Yeah. I love you, but I'm really not sure about your abilities to overcome and achieve anything of significance. And I'm saying this because I love you.
Yes.
Right? It's just this backhanded love care weird thing. And sometimes you get the people that are closest to you that are slightly pulling you down, man. They're slightly pulling you down. You heard the story about the crabs in the bucket, right?
Yeah.
Right? And when you put one crab in the bucket, you're good to go, right? And if you go fishing, that crab will crawl out every time. But if you throw 3 or 4 crabs in that bucket, they can't get out. Because they're all holding on to each other and they won't let go. And when one's trying to get out, the other people are down there going, nope, sorry, you're in here with us. You're staying in here with us.
Wow.
And you can't get out.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what it's like with the people that are closest to you.
Yeah.
And you're getting this loving, caring criticism like, why don't you get a real job? Why don't you go back to doing this? I see that you're really struggling. I don't think you should do that anymore. All generally advice from people who've never put themselves in a place of discomfort and pushed through something other than working a regular 40-hour week and getting a paycheck.
Yeah. I think that's a good measure if that's sound advice. Have they ever put themselves out there and challenged themselves?
Yeah. Have they ever done anything that was a risk? Was a risk.
Yeah.
Right?
What's next on the list there?
I think if you're a person who's never bet on you, never bet on yourself, and you've never taken a chance on you, this could be very uncomfortable. This could be very difficult.
Yeah.
If you're a person who says, I do bet on myself, I believe in myself, you have a shot. But if you're someone who is not willing to bet on you
and pulls away from those opportunities.
Yeah.
Like maybe you've had opportunities where they were extended to you, or there was an opening. Let's say there was an opening in a position at your job, but you decided you may not be the person for it. You pre-qualified yourself is that right? Pre-qualified? No.
Prejudged?
Prejudged yourself that you are not the person for that position, and you backed away from it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not
like I'm old enough now that I remember junior high dances. I don't know if they still have them.
They do.
I don't know what the kids are saying, Chris. Apparently you do.
They do.
So maybe you can speak to it, right? Yeah. And a bunch of dudes standing around wanting to dance with some girls, and you see a girl that you like, and all the guys are thinking, yeah, I really like that girl. And most of them don't get the moxie to go and say, hey, would you dance with me? Or can I dance with you? Whatever. And you get these other guys confidently going and dancing with whoever they want. And these other people, they don't want to go and ask because they think they're going to get rejected.
Yeah.
And then they tell themselves, well, I really don't want to go out there. That's just really not my thing. And they lie to themselves about, man, I would love to be that guy dancing with that girl right now. But they lie to themselves.
Yeah.
Just don't have the right clothes on. I didn't come fully prepared. I didn't know this was going to happen. So I'm just going to stand back here and look cool. No, you look like a stool like everybody else over in the corner who doesn't do anything. Right? And I remember those days. And that's really what it's like. You start lying to yourself about opportunities and why you're not taking chances because you've never bet on yourself. You don't risk anything.
Yeah.
And if there's nothing to risk, there's really nothing to gain or lose.
And you might as well decide now if you're that person or not. You know?
Yeah.
Why not decide and just say, hey, I guess I'm not the kind of person that does bet on myself. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully my retirement will be there. Hopefully.
Chris, the thing I appreciate about you the most, I know I was laughing pretty hard at the golf thing.
We had a good time at that.
Because you were so high and low all in one moment. It was all the emotions in about 3 minutes.
I'm an emotional cat.
Yeah, but when you got started with me, man, I knew you had never done sales before. But I could see the wheels turning in your head. And I could see the questions. And you kept coming back, asking me more questions. And then you're like, I'm going to go ahead and get my license. I was like, what? You kind of surprised me.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
This is a first.
I didn't know.
This is an LIA exclusive.
I didn't know that you were willing to bet on yourself. Yeah. You look like a cat who wanted security.
Yeah.
More than opportunity.
Yeah.
And you look like you were more concerned about losing what you had than reaching for something that you didn't have that you thought was going to be better for your life. And I think a lot of people get stuck in that place. They're trying to hold on to the thing they've got so hard that they can't reach for the thing, the new thing, to take a chance.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like Adam over here, our producer, he left a traditional job for a news station here in town, to come and work with us, to start producing media content for us. But he was doing it because it was a better opportunity for his family, right? Totally different. And he let go of something that other people said, you're crazy letting go of that to go do this. You let go of something, but you wandered in, tiptoed in, and you let go slowly. You didn't let go quickly. You let go slowly, but you still let go. And I respect the fact that you were willing to get uncomfortable and you were running appointments, evenings, weekends, on all the off days that you weren't working your regular job. You were double timing it. You were literally putting in 2 full-time jobs almost, trying to figure this out and learn it while you were sustaining the income for your family. So the thing that I really liked about you was that you were willing to bet on you, and you found a way to do it where you didn't have to put your family at risk to attempt. But you didn't use your family and your job as an excuse for why it wasn't working.
Yeah.
Once that was over, you were all in on the time over here trying to learn how to do this. And so I saw you go from nothing to something. And that was one of
the language was betting on myself. Yeah. I didn't want to be in a position again where somebody could pull the rug out or make a decision for me, and I could hide behind an excuse of why it happened. That's the thing that stuck with me. Like, I could blame them all day long about downsizing and all these different reasons, but if the truth is, if there's enough value, then I probably could have found something still be there or whatever. Yeah. I just didn't want to hide behind excuses. I wanted to be. If it works, it's because I put everything into it. If it doesn't, I didn't have what it takes. That's what it came down to.
Yeah. And did I share with you the comment that one person that I had you train with, did I share that with you early about what he said about you after you rode with him for like 2 or 3 days?
I think so. I believe so.
Did I share that with you? Was that a motivation for you?
Oh, that's a big motivation for me typically.
Yeah. So for those of you that are watching that don't know that part of Chris's story, I had him ride along with somebody who was very successful in sales and who was wanting to grow a business. And I said, and I valued that relationship. And I said, Chris, I want you to ride with this person. And I was out of town, so it was great. And you were literally on your days off, you were running with him. And after 3 days, I followed up. I contacted him and I said, hey, how's it going with Chris? And he goes, dude, this guy's not even full time. He's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, he has no experience. He's never done this before. He's not committing to full time at all. And he hardly says 2 words. He's not going to make it. And I'm like, you don't know the Chris that I know, right? Because he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't know you as the way I knew you. I knew you from the leader that you were, not from the person you were trying to become over here. I knew you who you were. He doesn't know that person. He just knew the guy that was sitting in the car next to him, riding around trying to figure this out, looking nervous and being part-time. And man, he didn't. He was like, he's not going to make it. I mean, he had
decided.
He was already done with you. He was already done. And I think I shared that with you, and that was like,
the raised eyebrow.
Huh?
Yes.
That did something to you.
Yeah.
I'm glad I shared that with you.
Oh, I am too, for sure.
Because he criticized.
I'm a prove you wrong kind of person.
Yeah.
It's a strong fire.
Don't test me.
don't
test me. There's another word that follows that I should have had.
No, don't test me. It's okay.
Don't test me.
What's our next one?
You don't like adversity. If you don't like adversity, doing hard things and figuring out how to overcome them, don't do this.
Yeah. That's kind of fun, though.
What say you? It's fun for people who bet on themselves and figured it out.
Yeah, I guess so. I like for me, I like the challenge, the risk, the reward of doing the hard work, but solving big problems. That's what I like. And maybe that resonates for people who are listening, and you're saying, okay, I like that. And you're saying, maybe you're self-identifying or what was the other one? Self-judging yourself on this right now and determining that. But what was the one we just did?
I said you don't like adversity.
Yeah, the adversity factor. I think I've learned from my personal experience, I'm sure in your personal experience, that only good things can come from adversity. I don't know.
Depends on how you handle that adversity.
I don't think.
Sometimes people turn inward.
Oh, yes. I'm not saying it works that way for everybody.
No.
I'm just saying, like, if the beautiful things that come out of life come through adversity, the most beautiful things that come out of life.
I would say yes. For those who push through.
Yes, for those who push through.
Or for the circumstances that do not quit, do not relent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was watching, I watched over the weekend. We had a long weekend and I had a little time. We had some bad weather. It was raining and had a lot of, thunderstorms and stuff going on.
It's wild.
And I was flipping through the channel and I watched the movie again, Zero Dark 30.
Oh, wow. That's intense.
Have you guys ever watched Zero Dark 30?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's the hunt for Osama bin Laden. And we just said that on our YouTube channel. I've never said that name on YouTube before. Anyways, there it is. And this was after the 9/11 and several years after, and a pursuit. And the movie essentially ends up with them finding him. And it was because of the relentless pursuit of a lady. And she would not give up. But she kept getting knocked down, and her counterparts were, they were getting killed in roadside bombs. And the reality and the grueling reality based on a true story of everything that went down there. I was amazed at her fortitude to keep going in the face of adversity.
Yeah.
Tracking one person to another person to another person, to the courier, to who he was, and finding the inner circle and finding the connection, and then finding what they thought was the point. And she was relentless. And at the end of the movie, she steps on this large B-52 bomber, or it looked like, and getting ready to head back to stateside. And the pilot comes out and says, "You can sit anywhere you'd like. You're the only one on the manifest." Said, "You must be a really important person. You're the only one on this plane." Well, anyway, where do you want to go? And that's how the movie ends. And it, does the close up on her, and she starts to cry. She starts to cry. And as a person who is, this has nothing to do with male, female, but as a dad of daughters, I was so. And I'm looking at a character in a movie, of course, but I was so proud of her unwavering, relentless spirit to not quit until they had victory in the face of such awesome, overpowering adversity. And the result where they finally succeeded, it was just incredible to watch. And she just was emotional
Wow.
at the end of the movie. And I thought, man, this story is incredible.
Yeah.
Most people are not made for that.
No, and you can't do anything great without having that spirit. I don't think it's possible.
It's
Because you're going to have adversity. Once you start doing pretty cool things,
yeah.
you start to move your life in a different direction. It's whether it's spiritual health, mental, emotional, or outside
Financial,
voices.
everything, yeah.
Those crabs come to pull you back.
Oh, they do. And sometimes you're getting it from places you didn't expect it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's coming from all angles. Sometimes it's a health challenge. Sometimes it's a financial challenge. Sometimes it's a relational challenge. But man, if you can't handle adversity, I think the people who handle adversity the best and who can manage stress and overcome that are the people that have the biggest successes. So if you're a person who doesn't handle adversity well, you probably shouldn't sell insurance.
Yeah. Can you cover the ones we've covered already?
You don't like being uncomfortable.
Okay.
You've never really bet on yourself.
Yeah.
You don't like adversity. You don't like criticism. There's 2 or 3 more.
Yeah. The more we're describing this, and we didn't mention this early, but man, that sounds so boring.
I know.
Doesn't
It's like watching a novel that no one wants to read.
Yeah.
They made it into a movie. No one wanted to read it. Now it's a movie, and you still don't want to watch it.
The title of it is The Man Sitting in the Chair.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. And some people will watch it and say that was a masterpiece.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Adam loved that one.
Right.
It's one of his favorites. Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
You shouldn't sell insurance if you like instant gratification. Did we cover that already?
No,
I don't
we
think
didn't.
so.
I don't think we mentioned that.
Yeah.
No.
If you like instant gratification, what do you think? What say you, Seaball?
Oh, geez. There's a learning curve to this process. Oh, yeah, it's funny. When I would train agents, I would say things like, at first I would think, man, I hope I have a lot of success.
Yeah.
I really want them to see what a good day
I went
looks
through the
like.
exact same thing.
Yeah. And so then I'd get, 3, 4, one day I had 6 sales, training an agent one day, and they're beaming. The next day we didn't get anything. And it's emotionally like the same, golf experience that I was having.
Yeah.
That they were feeling watching this. And then I realized, man, people, they're going to see what they need to see on any given day, that they do a ride along, or they, jump on the phone and they see this process. And there's a learning curve to this business that nobody can avoid. It's unavoidable. And even the pay structure it requires you to have vision for your finances, for your family, because a portion of your commissions are paid to you after months 10, 11, and 12. So yeah, instant gratification. I mean, for what purpose? For what purpose? If the instant gratification is, hey, I made $10,000 this week, and I've got a plan to pay to spend all $10,000 right now, then that means you probably didn't have a big vision or anything that you were really trying to accomplish, and you're just kind of like a loose cannon rolling around in a boat. So that, instant gratification, that's not going to work. It takes some time to learn, and even as you get paid,
Delayed gratification is the name of the game here.
Absolutely. And having a plan to work through to make sure that you are financially stable, so you take the pressure off yourself.
I think our social media world and all the stories about instant success and overnight success, and do this course and you'll make $40,000 a month starting next month.
Yeah.
Look at my 10 clients who've done that, and I can coach you how to do the same thing. All they're doing is coaching people how to develop a course that coaches people on how to develop a course, and there's really no product.
By the way, just kidding.
By the way, we have a course on why you shouldn't sell insurance.
That's right.
So, if you don't like adversity, and I think that leads us to our second last one, and I like this one a lot because you say this a lot. You say it when you see an agent in the hunt.
Oh, yeah.
We call it in the hunt. An agent's in the hunt. Have you ever been out so I've been pheasant hunting before.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a one-time experience. It's not like I go pheasant hunting every fall. Yes, let's go hunt for pheasants.
Foxes and pheasants.
Yeah,
That's what you're known for.
I went pheasant hunting once, and we were out west in South Dakota, and they took us to this big area. It's famous for hunting pheasants, and they had dogs, and they send the dogs into the field, and up come the birds, and you start calling out, whether it's a hen, or male or female, basically, and you're only supposed to shoot the males because they don't want you to shoot the hens.
I'm afraid to ask how you can tell the difference.
Well, one is big and beautiful with a big tail, and the other one is brown, and so. Like there's this whole process, and the dogs, man, when they go in, they're like, you can see they're tracking, and they're on a mission. It's almost like they know something's in there before they even ever get in there. And you can their tail is straight up, and they say when the dog stops, and it's a pointer dog, and one paw comes up, and like they're pointing.
That's a real thing.
It's a real thing,
I did
man.
not
This
know that.
dog is like, what? To see these dogs go, it's so impressive. And I thought, man, because they're just all running around. And then when he sends them into the field, they're gone. And then when they find someone, they something's in the bushes. They point or they rush in and they scare the birds up. And it's an amazing thing. And we call it being in the hunt. And you said, I like it when people are in the hunt because I can what?
I can smell smoke on them.
I can smell smoke on them. I can smell smoke on them. EM, smell smoke on them.
Yeah.
And so I put down here, if you don't like the smell of smoke,
Yes. Yeah.
you probably shouldn't sell insurance. What does that mean, Chris?
Yeah. That you lean into the battle. Like it covers a multitude of these things. I guess that's kind of the summary piece to me. I'll give you an example. One, I had said that to an agent recently, and one who's on our podcast, Alyssa Garcia.
Yeah.
Alyssa's a great agent. She's leading a team, and I've seen Alyssa battle adversity and some, for her, some health challenges she had gone through. And she came in the office. I have never heard her complain. Not once. Like, I've heard her say, I wasn't feeling well and I did this. She wasn't saying, man, she wasn't complaining about it. She just told me a fact about it, And then she would talk about what she's trying to accomplish, her vision, all this stuff. And
I've seen her be emotional.
Yeah.
Like emotional to the point of tears.
Yeah.
In the fight.
In the fight.
Fighting for something.
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's a frustration that she's trying to
fighting for something.
Keep going and do more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she's always fighting. That's the thing. And man, that inspires people.
Yeah.
That moves people. And I love being around people like that.
You love being around the smell of smoke.
I do. I love love being around the smell of smoke.
So if you're a person who likes things very clean, very predictable, very comfortable, nothing ever gets out of order.
If you have to know everything ahead of time, oh boy.
Yeah. This probably won't be the best for you.
Yeah.
You shouldn't sell insurance. And then there's one last one to round it out at number 7.
Let's do it.
Number 7. You're a person who has to do it your way, and you're not that coachable. We've met some of those people too.
Yeah. And then it typically, the opportunity gets blamed, the leads get blamed, the business, you
the relationships
yeah.
outside of the person, not them, but everyone else.
Yeah, there's a word I circled here, in a lot of these that we've mentioned is ego.
Fear and ego, I would say.
Yeah,
but this last one certainly goes to ego.
And the reason I'm saying even with fear, the fear and ego side of things, exposure of who you really are, I think there's a lot of fear that people have a lot of fear of being exposed for who they really are, that they don't know something, that they aren't good at certain things, that
they might be seen as a failure.
Yeah, that they might fail at something. And it's much safer, easier, more comfortable to sit back on your porch and just talk about all the people out there doing stuff.
Who are trying to do something.
Yeah.
Right?
Isn't it? Yeah. And you can look like an expert. You see how he's riding his bike? He should have his hand on his handlebars. You can look like the expert, but you don't know how, you don't do it. You don't want to put yourself in that position where you're exposed. And we talk about this a lot, Roger. We talk about how winning happens in community, and failure happens in isolation. And your ego is incredibly self-preserving. That's the whole idea. It focuses on itself.
It's protectionism.
Yeah. It will do whatever it can to protect itself to the point of locking itself
to protect your emotions. Even.
Yes.
An emotional state of well-being, which is underperforming in every area of your life, but at least you're not risking anything.
Ugh. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That doesn't sound great, man.
No, it doesn't. Who wants that?
Yeah. And I'm hoping, this is a tongue-in-cheek episode. We're honest about this. Mm-hmm. But what I'm hoping is you're hearing it and you're saying, man, I'm tired of that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. Man, I'm tired of just protecting my image and not making a difference. I'm tired of that. I want to do something different.
I'm tired of being complacent.
Yeah.
I've always tried to get instant gratification and it's never worked out long term. I've never really bet on myself and I want to for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for the comfortable way out, but I realize that if I'm not willing to go through some adversity, I'm not going to have the life I want. I got to be willing to risk some things here. And in order for me to risk some things, I got to mess some things up. And I know I'm going to get some challenges from people who may not agree with me, but I got to be okay with it. I got to be able to get in the fight. Mm-hmm. I got to be able to get some smoke on me. I got to be able to be a little bit uncomfortable. I got to be a little bit unpredictable. Things are going to get a little bit messy. I'm not going to get everything right. There's going to be some weeks when I don't make money. I lose money. What? You can lose money? Yeah, you can. You invest money in leads and you don't turn them around to a profit. You probably don't want to do that again. Things are not going to go exactly the way you want them all the time. And if you're willing to take that chance and then plug yourself into a community where you can get a good coach, where you can be surrounded by other people who've gone through the same things that you're going through and who are willing to stand beside you as you go through that battle so that when you're in the hunt, you can look to your right and look to your left and there's other people charging the field together with you and they're taking the field with you. They're going into battle with you and they got the smell of smoke on them. Then you feel like you're in a squad. You feel like you've got your tribe. You feel like you're in a community where you can win together. It doesn't matter what the adversity is. You can handle it together and you can make it. And you're willing to come out on the other side and say, what if for the first time I try this? And what if I'm willing to persevere? And what if I'm willing to be coachable? What if I'm willing to denounce and set aside the criticism? What if it works? Instead of saying, what if it doesn't? What if it works for the first time? Instead of saying, what if it doesn't? Too many people say, what if it doesn't, man?
Yeah.
Too many people say, what if it doesn't?
This is the best kept secret in America.
100%.
It can change your life. I can't think. Bingo.
Right there. Right there.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
And it's not going to seem just like that when you're going through it.
No.
But Chris,
Can you give it a year?
I've seen people turn their life around in 6 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
And some people go to school for 4, 6, 8 years, put themselves in so much debt, chasing the thing. You have people who are just being sometimes complacent, doing the thing because that's what everyone else is doing. Man, it's time for you to realize that you can bet on yourself and win. But if you're not all those things, this might not be for you. But I don't think that's you, because if you've listened to this far into this podcast, this is not you. Here's the good news. You can be like Chris Ball and get the smell of smoke on you.
Let's do it.
And come out on the other side a big winner. So if you'd like to know more about how to do that, we have coaching, we have courses. Every Thursday morning at 10:30 a.m., we do a live coaching session with hundreds of people who join us from around the country and around the world, Canada, Mexico, overseas. They join us to listen in, and they get to be a part of a collaborative community. You can find out about that on our website. Adam will throw the link somewhere in the notes below. We also have courses that you can subscribe to learn on demand 24/7 where you are. And we have upcoming events that we do, live events.
Yes.
And if you reach out to us and say, hey, when's your next upcoming event of the how-to part? Some of you listen to this podcast and you're pissed off that we didn't cover how to do it today. But we know that the how-to is much less important than the willingness to do, and the fortitude to do. Because if you get the willingness and you get the fortitude and you understand that resilience that's needed, the how-to becomes secondary. And it becomes much easier. So we hope you found value in today's podcast. And Chris, The next time you say, we're playing for keeps,
We're playing for keeps.
and 3 minutes later you're saying, I might as well quit.
Oh, I won't say it again.
I might as well quit. I'm just losing balls. I'm donating balls. Right? That smell of smoke will rise again.
There we go.
Right?
Let's go.
And we'll be back in the hunt. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast.